Hey everybody, Jeff Miller here, Head of Instruction at Target Test Prep. In today's video, we are going to discuss our GMAT Focus exams harder than GMAT Focus practice exams. So I'm sure you've been on forums such as Reddit or GMAT Club, and you've come across posts that say the following: I took the GMAT Focus and oh boy, was it harder than my practice exams. How could this be? And when they say practice exams, the person means official GMAT Focus practice exams. Yeah, so those posts out there, I will agree that they are, and I've read them myself. But I've also been doing this for 15 years, more than 15 years actually, and I realize that the GMAT Focus is a new exam. But this age-old question of, are the practice tests in the same region or boat as the real exam? Is that the case? That question has been going on for ages. I'm here to tell you that despite seeing those things on forums, the answer is they are not harder. The real test is not harder than the practice exams. In fact, those practice exams are very good indicators of how you should feel on test day. So then what gives? Well, look, when things happen that are odd, people like to write about them. So keep that in mind. When you look at the forums, it's usually the extremes. That said, it doesn't mean that for certain folks, when they got to the GMAT Focus exam, it seemed harder than the practice exams. Now, why could that be? Well, there's a lot that goes into test day, whether it's online or at the test center, and different things depending on where you're at. That's different from when you're home. Think about it. When you're taking your practice exam, you might be a little bit laid back. Yeah, you might be nervous, but you know there's no stakes. I mean, there are stakes, kind of, but good, bad, or ugly, you move on and you keep studying and you gear up for test day regardless how it goes. Yeah, you want to do well, but mentally it's different. When you go to the real test, there are stakes. You're going to get a real score, a score that you can submit to schools, etc. What does that mean? What can play a factor then? Anxiety. Anxiety can play a major factor. That's something that I've seen from a lot of my tutoring students too. They take the practice exams, they feel great, relaxed, laid back, not really caring too much, and they do really well. They go to the test, whether it's at home, at the test center, and anxiety just overwhelms them and they don't do as well. So of course you'd come home and say, well, gee, that exam seemed harder than my practice exams. That's also one of the main reasons why you hear that, even though some students won't even admit that that's what happened. And think about it, the online exam, you've got the remote proctor, you've got technical things happening, maybe there's loud noises outside your house or apartment. So there's other extraneous factors, and some of those can happen at the test center too, that make that environment or that test seem harder than the practice exam. So that's one of the main reasons. Now, another reason, and this is pretty big and you got to be careful about this in your prep, a lot of people prep and do the questions that are going to get them great at practice tests. Now, why does that happen? Because we all see what's on practice tests. So what do a lot of test prep companies do? They specifically lean on those questions that are in the practice exams rather than building out a curriculum that covers those concepts in much further detail. So if you get really good at the stuff that you're going to see on practice exams, and then you get to the test and you realize, oh boy, I needed to know a larger scope of all of these different topics, well, then think about it. You're not going to perform as well, and you're going to think that the practice test was easier than the real thing. So look, the net result of all of this is trust the practice exams. If you've studied hard and you've done the work up to a point, you should be able to do really well in your practice exams and then replicate that in the test center. Sure, there could be plus or minus. You could outperform at the test center. You could underperform. And there's some reasons that you'll never know why that happened. If it does and you feel prepared and you didn't do well, give it a little bit of time, prep back up, retake it, and you should be fine. But I don't want anyone going around thinking, hey, these practice tests, these official GMAT Focus practice tests are not reflective of what I'll see in test day. I do not believe that is true. Trust those tests and you should be fine for test day. All right, so that's a wrap on today's video. Our GMAT Focus practice tests easier than the GMAT Focus exam, or in other words, is the GMAT Focus exam harder than the practice test? In any case, I had a blast talking about it. I hope you can rest easy knowing that those practice tests replicate test day. And look, if you like today's video, we got more coming. Put comments, let us know what you want me to talk about, and of course, subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching. We'll talk soon, everybody, and study hard.